Good evening, I'm Eric Zawadzki. I'm the developer of the Deviant Renegades game line. I'm playing with my usual tabletop group in quarantine. You guys just introduce yourselves real quick.
Jake playing Steve.
Noel playing Benji.
Rachel playing Tamsin.
Okay.
Mark playing Solomon.
Oh, I almost skipped over Mark. But yeah, okay, so the last session we had, or the characters had decided that the best way of solving the problem where, you know, they kind of caused the divergence and or worse in hundreds of people through an accident that was intended to look like an accident but actually became an accident. Is that a pretty good description of that? Would be to go rescue the imprisoned deviants in the conspiracy safe house, but to do it in such a way that it didn't tip off the conspiracy to the fact that they weren't playing nice with the conspiracy. In order to do that, they know that the conspiracy has access to a kind of handcuffs that shut down deviant powers, or at least make them a lot harder to use. And they've learned that there are about 6 different keys for these handcuffs, kind of like filing cabinets in an office where there's just sort of there's not an unlimited number of different keys, but it's not the same lock key for every filing cabinet, the way it is with handcuffs, normal handcuffs. They know that Dunk has a copy of every key, and so if they can get, the plan was to figure out how to get the handcuff keys. Rachel, you said we did not have any quotes from last week. Oh, you have a quote?
One quote.
One quote, okay.
And it's related to a quote from the week before, so I guess really there's 2 quotes because one's needed for context.
Okay.
All right. The original quote was, "Hey, you might get to switch one of your loyalty touchstones for a conviction. Hey, we might get to have a session that doesn't end in murder. Not this one." Then, what is it? "Hey, the last session didn't end in murder, just manslaughter."
Yeah, that's fair. Right.
Who got slaughtered?
The building got exploded.
That was more than 1 session ago.
He is right. That was 2 sessions, but yeah. All right. Other things that are sort of on the to-do list, but not immediately pressing, because we're going to deal with this jailbreak thing first, is that Benji is trying to build a weapon using the power source of the building, the like waste energy that is leaking into the building as a weapon. Also create more outlets for that weapon. Hijack building surveillance, figure out a way to detect Jared Cupwalder, who can turn invisible and walk through walls. Makes it a little difficult to determine whether he's spying on you or not at any given time. And especially when you're his loyalty touchstone, he's probably spying on you a pretty sizable fraction of the time just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he can see in the dark.
Or the light.
Good question. A couple weeks ago, picked up most of the first season of The Boys. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
No.
And yeah, just remembering Translucent and his tendency to be places that he really shouldn't be, and because he's invisible. But he's one of those kind of invisible where you have to be naked to be invisible. So, yeah.
I don't think I was thinking of the same show that you were when you said The Boys.
Yeah, this is definitely a not family friendly superhero-ish movie or TV series.
Yeah.
But It's it actually, in where I'm at right now, I'm on the 6th episode of the first season. It's a little bit more like, imagine a Hunter the Vigil game,
Okay.
where the hero, the hunter's prey is evil superheroes
Run by an
Interesting.
evil corporation.
run by an evil corporation.
It's a straight up Deviant story.
It is a straight up Deviant story.
That fits.
Yeah, very, very close. So
And it's absolutely horrifying.
Yeah.
I'm caught up. It's yeah.
I was catching up, and then I had writing projects to work on. So, okay, so you're pretending to create a building-wide regulation system for the power, so that this doesn't happen again. Camson is also supposed to be getting a whole bunch of people to start up, and Steve is receiving training for how to act as a building receptionist.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So, good times. You have one beat in the beat jar at the moment. And, all right. So, did anyone have experience that they wanted to spend at this time?
Not
Sure.
yet.
Did everyone? Oh, sorry.
Could you remind us of our aspirations? I can't seem to remember mine.
Yeah, I don't
They're
have
all the same. Jailbreak, except for
Oh,
Tamsin,
it's
who just
jailbreak.
Figure
Okay.
out how to get the
Okay.
handcuff key.
Yes, get the
Everyone
key.
else's, jailbreak was like the
All right.
universal aspiration. So I totally didn't plan a jailbreak today. I planned like, some trip to Disney World,
Let's go to Disney World.
Hey,
So,
yeah. Disney
I hear
World.
that everybody's talking about Disney World. We should go there.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Aspirations were like a stroke of genius, because not so much because of the experience mechanic itself, which I know you guys can kind of take or leave sometimes, but the just because it gives me an idea of what you're planning to do next session. Hopefully.
Fuzzy hero.
Doesn't always work like that.
Doesn't always, but it often does. I'll know if you're going to be messing around with pancakes.
Stuttgart.
Yeah.
It's my aspiration for next session.
Here it's a pretty good place to go this time of year.
Yeah, can the Olympics be held in Stuttgart?
No.
The Olympics are over already. They only went through August 8th, and it's August 10th now in game.
Winter Olympics.
Oh, winter. Yeah, that's 2 years from now.
Exactly.
I'm not giving you a 2-year-long training montage in the middle of the game.
Just so we can go to Stuttgart.
I don't think I've ever had a Chronicle that in game lasted longer than the out of game time it took to play it. And that may be on me, but
The only
Yeah.
one that I can think of is a game that involved either A, time travel, or B, time travel by waiting.
yeah,
Yeah.
big time skips.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No.
Unless there's a good reason for them.
Yeah. It's just not a very common thing. Usually it's one crisis after another,
Yeah.
and the game ends.
In case
in a
you're
week and a
curious,
half.
my personal aspiration, not Tamsin's, mine, to figure out a way to make this go to Stuttgart.
Oh gosh. I don't know what you would do in.
What wouldn't you do in Stuttgart?
Yeah. And
All right.
you
Eat some
can go to
brains.
Oktoberfest.
Yes. Oktoberfest.
Yeah, that's coming up before too long.
Eric, I just want to remind you that you started it.
The Stuttgart thing? What? What?
Well,
Not this time.
actually, I was
Southern German.
the
Mm.
moving away from the jailbreak thing.
Oh yeah, I guess it's true.
Disney World. Yes.
Disney World. I did not say Stuttgart, dang it.
No.
So for some context, very light, quick context, there was a game that they were playing that involved vampires in Paris, and they were told by like everybody in the Camarilla that they were, because they were suspected of some horrible heinous thing, that they had to leave Paris where they would all be killed, and so they left Paris. The game was planned in Paris. They all decided to just go to Stuttgart as sort of a random place that wasn't Paris, and threw a monkey wrench in the whole chronicle because of just kind of a miscommunication of intent by the storyteller to the players.
I just want to make it clear that was Jake's fault.
Well, no, it was Jake's game, but
It was my
fault.
game. I feel like the blame could be shared a few different ways.
I don't remember
Dice.
why Stuttgart came to mind, other than European city or something. But
It's because you were playing Lestat and you were like, Lestat has a villa in Stuttgart. I'm going to Stuttgart.
but what? I don't remember why Stuttgart.
It's fun to say.
I guess.
It is fun to say.
I assume there was a biographical reason why he would go there.
Also,
I
There
haven't
was,
actually
yeah,
seen.
I don't remember the specifics of why.
Yeah.
also, it's useful to know that Stuttgart's patron saint is Saint Martin of Tours, which is the same saint as Saint Martin of Tours, but of Tours. But Saint Martin is the patron saint of player characters
And geese.
Oh,
and geese,
And geese.
also geese. Yeah.
Saint-
Kind of
Which ruined an entire session one time.
One.
I didn't know
So-
RPGs have been so historical.
I just
Yeah.
feel like
It depends on whether we're making this up or not.
No,
sounds like
I'm deadly serious. He's the patron
you're deadly
saint of
serious
people-
about the patron saint of player
the
characters.
patron saint of people who, what is it? They basically are suffering and don't deserve their suffering.
Well,
Some player characters deserve it.
I feel like Benji deserves his suffering.
You're going to deserve a lot of suffering after this. Let's get this jailbreak going.
Let's get to the suffering.
All right, get to the suffering. Oh wait, a couple other things. Everyone pursued a touchstone last chapter, or no? Did anyone miss pursuit?
I thought we covered that. I don't remember.
I don't
think we did that at
know.
the end
My
of last
touchstone may have interacted with me, but I did not interact with
Yeah.
them.
Okay,
I interacted with Charlie at the start of
you
it.
did. You're good.
I think we
Um,
interacted with Abby, didn't we, Rachel?
Oh yeah, no, I interacted with
Okay,
Abby.
you had Abby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
that's
did you-
right. I took
did you
Abby
get
on the
anyone?
let's return stuff to your boss mission. Or
Yeah, and I watched the front desk.
Noel, did
For her.
you pursue anything with or complete a touchstone last session?
Yeah, we were trying to jailbreak from Dunk, and
Okay. Oh, no,
spent a
absolutely.
bunch of time on
Okay,
that.
yeah. All right. So we're good. And then we did that. Don't have to worry about that. Okay.
That-
All right. So how shall we start?
Well, so getting the keys, I think, is the
I thought we knew something about where they were.
You have Dunk's home address. You also have the address of the building where the people are being held captive. Likely the keys are there too.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't we have the address for a like locksmith or something? That was the cover business. Am I imagining? Did I just make?
Yeah, you're
okay,
imagining that
Never
one. I
mind.
don't
No.
remember that.
no, you're
I
not.
don't
You're
remember
not
that.
imagining it. He has a towing business, and we had surmised that the keys were probably like at his place of business.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there we
Um,
go.
And the plan was for somebody to go in there, and we had some kind of rationale for somebody to go in and talk to him at his business, having to do with like a Gunga Gab, like there was something that you were going to be able to go
Yeah,
do.
It was
Yeah.
you because you have some semblance of an excuse.
So
Yeah.
actual talk, not like talk.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think she would win talk.
No.
Um,
Well, I wouldn't lose. I can reflexively turn into like, well, okay.
oh,
I suppose if
He might punch you so hard that
No.
being liquid doesn't matter.
but he can't punch me. That's the point.
no,
I
you're
have
right.
instant dodge.
Oh.
No, he.
Well,
I've kind of forgotten how well defended you guys are, considering. I think the only one that can just get the crap kicked out of him is, well, Noel and
And Taz.
Technically, if I really wanted to, I could manifest the capability to dodge bullets reflexively.
okay.
well, you should want to
and-
do that.
Yeah.
But that means you're already being shot at, so let's avoid that part.
Right.
Yeah, but between the two of us, we could make one heck of a circus act.
True.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a legit reason to talk to him. I feel like you guys were going to do things while I was distracting him with my legit reason.
Probably work on the waist gun.
Well, okay. So
My involvement is, as far as I know, getting Cosmo to relay the plan to the prisoner that we're springing via telepathy.
I think
Like
she's
the
talking about
raccoon
getting the
outside
keys
window and
portion.
give
I'm
them-
not sure I'm involved in that. Or am I involved in that?
I don't.
I-
I feel like something was going to be happening while I was talking to him about this actual legitimate thing I have to talk to him about, because otherwise there's not really much of a like in character reason for me to go and talk to him aside from just doing my job, and that's
Yes.
not something that needs to be played.
Yeah, seduce him and steal his keys.
I could sneak in
That can be-
and look for it. I don't think that was the plan a couple weeks ago, but I could do that.
I mean, she could just look for them while she's there.
That's true. That might be
That's
hard
true.
to do though, because I'm sure he doesn't trust us at all.
That's true.
I did have one thought.
I can pull up camouflage.
Yeah,
For a
I
scene.
was gonna say like, if Jake wanted to trade one of his powers for another power, we could make use of that.
Yeah.
I also had this, bizarre shower thought for doing the actual jailbreak
Yeah.
about you not using camouflage, but the
Face
thing
thief?
where you make yourself really small.
Oh, that would work too.
And I
Yeah.
just had this thought of you like, super tiny Jake, like hauling around this giant key.
Somebody saw Ant-Man recently, hasn't he?
I could ride on Cosmo.
You could.
He could go from my pet to my mount.
I think you're unnecessarily complicating the situation. I don't think adding a telepathic raccoon makes this easier at all.
But okay, not for the key stealing part, but he's gonna be involved in the actual springing part.
I mean, he doesn't have to be if you're super tiny and sneaking in that way.
True, but I don't have a good way of letting the prisoners know what's happening.
Haven't you ever seen
Other than-
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? I mean, you have options.
Yeah, no, I do. They're just not good ones. Dad, don't eat me.
What does she want?
Some sort of popsicle thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Well, so keys.
Yeah. I'll come.
Anything that involves sneaking should not involve me, so I'll be doing something else.
all trash cans all the time.
Yes.
All right, so we have Team Trash Gun and Team Espionage /
Trash gun, waste gun.
Sorry.
These are different things.
Hey.
Hmm.
What, Jake?
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm just having trouble accessing my powers document.
What are you looking for?
I wrote down. Maybe I just have to open it with a different program. Open in WordPad. There we go. Camo. So it wasn't letting me search my document. Oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. So let's do Team Waste Gun for the second. That shouldn't take too long.
I just sneeze your dice out of your hand.
No. Oh, it went.
Whew.
All right. Go ahead and what was intelligence plus science for you, helping intelligence plus occult for Benji?
I think so, yeah.
By you, I mean Saul, sorry. I know there's 4 U's over there. I'm just the same square in all of you.
And specialty.
I was pretty sure you didn't mean me.
Let's make this flat so that my dice roll. Okay. There we go. Hey. All right. 2.
All right. I will add 2 to my intelligence plus occult roll. Oh, hello. Uh, 5.
Thanks.
Bleh.
Exceptional.
Way to poop gun or whatever it is you guys are working on.
Right.
Yes. Poop gun.
Just don't appreciate its subtleties.
Well, I mean, waste has a variety of potential meanings. So I figure as long as I keep going through synonyms, eventually I'll get it right.
Or you'll get to say poop. Let's be honest, that was the real goal.
I don't need the excuse to say poop.
We know Noel. All right. So you've in the process, you've made some progress on building the weapon itself, and you're also in the process of creating some more outlets so that you can use the weapon in more rooms. Okay. All right. Let's do keys then.
All right, team keys, go. So are you going to be actually riding your raccoon in like a little like
I think for
McFeagle Ranger, or would you like to ride in my purse?
Or would you like to
for getting the keys, I think it's most effective to just use camouflage, because it's also going to be like, if I'm super tiny, it might take me a long time to find those keys.
That's a good point.
Especially if they're on the second shelf.
This was a Noel's stupid idea, not a real plan.
Well, you know, we will make it a real plan.
I mean, I know how that's how our usual plans like come together, but
I've been looking for new ways to use the mutant thing because I haven't really used it yet. So
And it's extremely potent,
it is.
which is why it
got a
causes
lot
much instability when you use it too much.
That's also why it's hard to use though, because there's so much you could do.
Yeah.
Get a little analysis paralysis or something.
Especially feeding rapid healing to it.
Yeah.
Like rapid healing, deadly ichor, like anything that
3.
is, yeah. 3? Yeah. Okay, so you drive up to. I'm gonna be a bad person now.
Why are you laughing?
because he found a use for it.
All right.
The place where Dunk does his towing stuff, and some of his moving and some other things. So, yeah.
It's a nice place he's got here.
You're
welcome, Eric.
It does the job. That hose. The hose is the important thing.
Very regal.
Very regal.
Yeah.
This picture, the more I look at it, the more stuff I see that is baffling. Like, what's with the do not enter sign? Okay. Okay, so it appears that for the moment Dunk is here, kind of directing traffic might be too strong a word. It's just like it's clear that he's been very busy recently, and between whatever the heck he's doing at the house and his responsibilities of around here, it's just he's just spread super thin. And when you're a guy as big as Dunk, it takes a lot to spread you that thin.
So how do you want to do this? What's the
Now
plan?
I'm thinking about good copying him.
So we're just going to go in together?
I thought you were going to be invisible.
Oh yeah, I am. How could we do good cop, bad cop if I'm invisible though?
We're doing good cop, invisible cop.
You know, Jake.
Write that down.
I have to say I'm not familiar with that one. You're gonna have to brief me, I think, on how that one works.
It means that you do what you're supposed to do, and you don't pay any attention to. Well, you don't chime in on the conversation because, as far as he knows, you're not here. But if he's stressed out, then maybe someone being like commiserating with him might be another way to get in on stuff.
Oh yeah, because you're like his peer now.
Exactly. We can help each other out. And then maybe I can, help his head into a guillotine or something like
that.
Speaking of Paris,
I prefer Portal to a different reality where you die.
Why is it that anytime there's a dangerously horrible, awful, deadly, hostile environment, people always want to teleport their enemies into it? I just don't get it.
Yeah, so if you can just get whoever it is away from the desk, then I'll see what I can find.
All right, I'll see what I can do. Can you follow really closely behind me so that it doesn't seem like there's two people coming in?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this.
All right, go ahead and give me a wits plus stealth with a plus. Power, I believe.
Okay.
With a bonus equal to scar power.
Okay, wits plus stealth. So 3 and 3 is 6 plus. Trying to remember which scar this is. Mental, which means power is intelligence. Okay.
Just your pool of dice against his chance die.
Hey, let's don't rule out that chance die. I could be really bad at this. So
I've
that
seen
would-
you. I've seen you fail on a 15 die roll before.
Yes, you have.
Yes.
Not
Speaking
this
of
time.
Stuttgart.
3.
All right.
8, right? 8 and above?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, which is what he rolled. So, okay. All right. So, Dunk has gone into his office again. Sees you. Wait, he sees you headed your direction into his building, and kind of motions you over to his office. He sits down in his office and throws the keys down on the table and on the desk between you two. Just absolutely exhausted. It's like, Tamsin, what can I do for you? I hope it's nothing additional.
It's nothing what?
Nothing huge at this point.
Oh, no. I just, at least not something that needs to be done right now. I just wanted to, get the conversation started about making sure that we get keys and everything that's needed, because I'm assuming that there's probably going to need to be like locks changed and everything, and new keys registered and all that other stuff. So
Oh yeah, that's going to be a huge freaking mess, isn't it?
yeah. I feel bad about having to come and bug you about it, but
Yeah, I'm guessing that like half the residents, when they are there, are going to be locked out of their rooms because those door locks have been changed in the last 30 years. And whatever the heck that creature did caused everything to revert to like 1970s.
right. And I don't know if that means the locks reverted to, or if because I think some of them might have even melted from that fire creature that was around. So, are up above. I figure it's better just to needs an emergency right when you don't want it to be.
Okay. Carrying on. All right. So,
What was the last thing you heard?
you were we're talking about various things that would maybe potentially be messed up with like maybe the things melted and so on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the main issue, of course, is that it was that Karen was carrying the building keys with her, and of course she got fried, and so did the keys.
I forgot about
But
that.
he has to copy all of the keys.
Yeah.
It's like, which is going to be a tedious task.
Yeah, we need a copy of all the keys. There's a couple of door keys or the locks that got melted, so
Yeah.
we need to look at those. We probably need to test to make sure that the locks didn't change when things reverted back to the 70s, because I don't know if anything's been re-locked since 70s with newer technology, or if we need to actually replace the 70s stuff with more up-to-date current lock technology.
That is
Glad that your headache is
legit
as
question.
big as mine right now.
I'm just trying to make the best of a situation.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I will. I can't do a whole lot of this stuff right now, but I'll make sure that those keys get duplicated
Hold
and
on.
sent over to you.
At this point, I'm telepathying Benji to call the office.
Yeah, his phone rings. I'm not calling from my phone, by the way.
Okay. Dunks movers.
Yes, where is my car?
Who is this?
This is George. You tell me where my car is right now. You towed it away.
Oh. Could you be more specific?
Yes, it is. And I start giving him a bunch of really specific information that isn't real.
I'll give you some space for a second, and I just kind of back out of the office.
Okay.
Into
All
the
right, so you are now alone in the office with Dunk and without your rapid healing power.
Uh-huh.
Just a reminder that that's
Yep.
potentially a problem if you get caught. The keys on the table. You can see there's like you've known maintenance folks. They have that like ludicrous, huge, millions of keys. He actually has like a little sub ring with just 6 keys on it that look very close to identical. And they, yeah.
Is it the type that is there like a clip on it, or is it the type that you have to twist
with,
all the way around? God damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that this place has like a little coffee station someplace, right?
It has a coffee station for the employees. I mean, the coffee's been on since morning, so it's like 2 p.m. coffee.
Okay, I'm fixing 2 cups of coffee.
Okay.
So I'm ready to hand one to Dunk the second he gets off the phone.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
All right, so you're arguing with him in his car and getting driver license plate information and so on.
Yeah.
Just sort of making stuff up. Go ahead and give you...
I at some point when it becomes very clear to him that he doesn't have the fictional car that I'm looking for, I say, go outside and look at your parking lot. I see it right there.
Ow. Okay, give me manipulations plus subterfuge.
And, physically look at his lot.
Manipulation plus subterfuge.
1 second here.
Yeah. Well, the empathy is his strong point, and especially under the circumstances. But
well, at least I have.
that's a little.
At least I have 9 again for this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Okay. Damn, I wish 7s were a thing.
Oh.
3.
Okay. He sounds flustered, accepts the coffee on his way out the door, and walks out of the office.
Hey, you need a hand? Here, I'll come help you. I'm gonna walk out with him.
Okay.
Plausible deniability. If
Right.
I'm with him.
I'm doing my thing.
All right. Which
We-
plus
we
stealth
just-
plus 3, or whatever your power is.
Yeah, plus it's just 1, but
Okay.
I am invisible at the time, so
Okay. Yeah. And
we just want the 6 little ones, right? We
Far as
don't
we
need
know.
Yeah. Just the 6 little ones. is all you need.
Yeah, and all the garbage.
Okay. 2.
Okay. So you have secured the handcuff keys.
Did they go invisible with me when I picked them up?
Odds or evens.
I probably should know this. It's my power, but
Put it in your pocket. I don't know.
Put it in your mouth.
You're right. That's the only solution. Definitely put them in your mouth.
There are
my
other
mouth they go.
solutions, but none that are family friendly.
okay.
You are able. It is immediate possessions.
All right.
And you're like, yeah, clothing, and immediate possessions. So
You just have to claim them as yours.
Claim them for Spain, Jake.
yeah.
They have been claimed.
Okay. So you have the keys. Or the
And I'm
handcuffs.
waiting at the door.
Yep. He goes out and he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, George, if that's really your name. There's
Well,
no
is this-
car out here.
I
Is
let
this
you know.
Bob's towing?
I let you know that I'm done. So
Okay.
Oh,
Banana peel. There's a banana peel. Banana peel. I can smell it. Or you can smell it. Somebody can smell it.
This is Bob's towing. Yes.
No, it's not Bob's towing.
Oh, wrong number.
you okay?
It's been a week. And it's been like, yeah, it's been a week.
Here. Do you have the budget for multiple pots of coffee in a day?
It'd be tight.
How about I make some new coffee? It just I had
Okay.
something stronger, but I have a feeling that would probably be frowned on. But
Yeah, well, you know how it gets.
yeah, people from above wanting the impossible on
Yeah. Okay. So, he eventually puts the keys back in his pocket when he stands up to actually deal with some. He eventually has to go do stuff after a cup of coffee that's fresh. And he puts the keys in the pocket but doesn't look at them.
I'll say, it seems like you do have a lot that's going on right now. I just want to make sure that you know that this isn't something that needs to be taken care of like this exact moment, but next couple of days, even if they come a little at a time, we can work. We're not going to do everything in one day. So, but
I'll get you a set of keys by week's end.
great. Appreciate it.
No problem.
I'll just wave. Head out the door.
Yeah.
Hopefully Steve's in the car.
yes, I am sneaking up behind you.
Oh, that's right. You're still in the store.
Yep.
Don't leave Steve at the store.
You drive home. I did such a good job.
I did such a good job. And then there's a thought that comes into your mind. That's, when are you going to open the door for me?
Where did you go?
So I can get all the trash.
All right. So have you secured the keys? What next?
We should probably do this pretty quick now, because eventually he's going to figure out that he doesn't have these anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose we probably should do it sooner rather than later. So we probably should plan this next part, huh?
Yeah, probably.
What do you mean plan?
Oh my.
Oh wait, we did plan this a little.
A little, yeah.
Somebody was going to either bamf in or I was going to slurp in, but the keys, we were going to unlock all the handcuffs, we were going to leave, and we were just going to let things develop as they were, right?
I thought that was a proposition. I don't think it was.
Spoken like someone who might be objecting to this plan a little bit.
Yeah, I don't.
Might
think
not be
it was
100% on board.
Decided course of action.
Okay, so what's the plan?
Get the banana peel? I don't smell the banana peel.
We got 3 of us with guns. Let's just shoot them up.
I don't like your plan.
Then I'll take your gun.
No, you won't.
I have 2 hands.
I have a cat that will make you think it's a bad idea.
Yeah. So, okay. So the most important part about this is we not get caught doing it.
Yeah. And that's really my only objection to the shoot 'em up part.
Well, I thought the most important part was getting the people out of there.
No.
The most important part is that we take down this corporation while preventing the world from ending.
Well, yes, I agree with that.
So
Priorities.
Quite frankly, my plan A isn't necessarily even to get the people out. It's to make sure Dunk gets in trouble
Careful.
for the people escaping.
Wow, that's harsh.
Well, yeah,
Pretty harsh.
Conviction touchdown.
yeah, that's the name of the game.
Anything that hurts Dunk, I will agree to.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm actually fairly unopinionated on the subject of Dunk, as he is not one of my touchstones, but
You're the
I'm
only one.
loyal to you guys. So
Well, that's why you were able to go talk to him and
Tried to
drink
tell
coffee
us.
with him without poisoning it.
yeah. But I mean, it's easier to behead somebody when you're closer to them. It's just keeping that as an option.
Yeah.
That would have been a thought.
Beheading?
Poison.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know that that would have been such a good plan.
No, it wouldn't have, because Rachel offered to make some coffee, and then
Yeah.
his coffee's
Yeah.
poison, so.
however, I bet there's a coffee maker there, and I'm betting they don't give the prisoners coffee.
True.
Not that I'm saying you should do that.
Yeah, if he does monstrous transformation, he has a stamina of 7.
Oof.
So,
So
I'd say my plan probably was best.
yeah, not poisoning him. Poisoning was not really a good plan. But
Yeah. I think we get in covertly.
yeah.
Slip the keys in and see what we can do from there.
Well, and we can find out what our assets are once we get there, because we don't actually know what we're going to find there until we get there. So I kind of feel like we should probably plan a bug out plan, like if everything goes wrong, and then we just like be extemporaneous from there.
okay. Well, so I mean, before we know what we need to do to bug out, we need to know who's going in and how.
Yes.
So, among the things that we know the layout of the house
Mm-hmm.
with the jail in the bottom. So, like, it is possible to blindly bamf in.
And I can
No.
do the miniature thing or the camouflage thing.
Sure.
I can make havoc, but yeah.
But yeah, yours is very loud.
Do we need to solve the Jared problem first?
Jared?
Maybe.
Oh, Cuckwalder. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ghost.
I mean, that was kind of more of a long-term plan for, but I mean, if we want to do the jailbreak right now, we can't
We
do
can't.
that first.
I guess the option there is we go there, we take
Do the
can-
jailbreak, make sure you get the keys back, give it to Jared, put it in Jared's room.
Ooh.
Wait, I'm not a player in this game. I should not be doing this.
No, but
It occurred to me just now, like, that would be kind of a fun way of messing with someone.
I actually really like where his head's at there.
But getting the keys back may be challenging.
If they go back to Dunk, if they go back to Jared.
Can we get the keys copied?
Let's probably see the timing on these. I haven't had to get a key copy in a long time.
You just go to your Ace Hardware store.
Yeah, usually they do it while you wait.
Or there's just a machine you go up to, like at Lowe's.
Yeah.
You just be like, copy key. Go.
Yeah, professional locksmith can accurately duplicate a standard key in just a few minutes. More complicated can take up 25 minutes. So yeah, you could probably get a copy.
Yeah, so what we could get 6 copies, rephrase, a copy of each of the 6 keys, not 36 total copies, and slip the handcuff keys back this same day.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good plan for us not getting caught at this.
And we can figure out another way to pin Dunk for it, and it gives.
Well, I mean, if they get away, he's in trouble. That's like, he's in charge of it. He's totally boned if they get away. Like, oh shit. Okay, well, I just had another thought.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that it would occur to Benji though. Well, okay, so here's the thought, and so Benji he brings this up, and he says, "I'm not sure how I would even make use of this, but I mean, there's going to be a moment when Dunk realizes that they've all gotten away."
Yeah, and?
Well, and in that moment, he's going to be very vulnerable to solutions.
Oh, and you want me to be able to offer him bad solutions?
I don't know. I just thought, you know, I don't even know. I mean, I think it's just way better if he's just completely boned by Gab themselves for fucking up badly enough.
His boss, do we know in character? Do we know who his boss is in character?
Oh, that's a good question, because I guess I sort of thought that Kieran was his boss, but apparently not.
Oh, no direct boss.
No.
It would be.
I mean, it used to be Jared. It kind of, sort of, still is Jared.
Get him fired.
I mean, having anyone else in charge of that group would be kind of better. It pains me to admit, but having one of us in charge of that group would be best.
So, who would be best positioned to succeed there? Or should I try and consolidate power?
I will say Steve has the most experience putting bodies through wood chippers.
Get fired. Then we worry about who is in the case.
Probably.
I think this is the kind of thing where Benji gets like partway through this argument and then goes, "Oh shit," to himself. "Oh shit, Steve's the only one without a job. Maybe this is a terrible idea."
Well, no, Steve is valuable as our fill-in receptionist.
I agree.
Good job.
Slash pancake maker.
What?
Slash pancake maker.
Slash pancake. Yes.
That's a hobby.
Yeah. No, that's an important job.
Look forward to your forthcoming food truck. Steve's pancakes and
Slash raccoons.
Raccoon pancakes on every corner.
Okay, so anyway, it was just a thought, and it was not a particularly well-formed or good thought, but
well,
I don't know.
Fill that hole when we come to it.
Well, Tamsin, like, consider what you say if he comes to you for help.
Right.
That might be important later. Because he might need allies in the hierarchy. And if he thinks you can be that, he might ask you to back him or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, remember, we can all think together, so.
True.
Are we doing that now? Are we not
Yes.
doing that now?
I would.
Oh
hope
no,
that
we're probably in my office at the moment.
Oh, okay. I was
hopefully
gonna
that
say,
Jared hasn't figured out where that is yet.
yeah, I was gonna say I would hope that we weren't anywhere where we could be overheard as we were talking about taking down Jared.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, the Jared problem, I don't know what to do about that. It's going to take a bunch of time. Because I'm going to have to test it. I don't know what's going to work and what isn't. You know?
Wait, you're talking about using your weapon against him?
No. I'm
Oh,
talking
okay.
about detecting him.
Oh, detecting him. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing we got to figure out is whether we can tell if he's there or not.
And then we can test our weapon against him.
I mean, I'm not against this idea. I'm not for it either yet.
Yet. Dunk is still around, so.
But I think it's really important that we know, like, where he is and, you know, whether he's present or not. But
Okay.
I mean,
So we've gone pretty far afield from how are we doing the breakout thing.
Yeah. Let's get back to that.
Yeah.
I guess I vote we get the keys copied,
Okay.
sneak the keys back in.
Okay.
Then we can look at doing the breakout tomorrow or the day after.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Still,
Do that.
the question is of how we're doing said breakout.
Yes, but it gives us time to think and plan and see if there's any other way we can figure out how to get more intelligence on what's possible there.
You'll be able to at least decide what time of day to strike rather than like messing around with, oh, well, I guess we're going in there at high noon.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for giving the players ideas and backing up my somewhat formed thought.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go get the keys copied then and return the keys, and then we'll figure out how the breakout goes.
Yep.
All right. Well, you guys do that. I'm going to go do some surveillance then.
Are you okay doing the keys by yourself, Steve? Because chances are I probably do need to get back to the building.
Oh yeah, no, I'll be fine.
You could always rely on Abby.
Why
Remember
do
when when she takes your form, or if she takes your form, she has all your like muscle memory.
What kind of muscle memory? Because some of my muscle memory is like turning into a ball of goo.
Well, not like superpowers, but like, remembering passwords and recognizing people's names and such.
The first thing I thought of was how she's an Olympic shooter.
Yeah, that also would be a little bit more weird. But just like keys, but like passwords and such. Greetings, recognition signals.
Oh, hey, it's fine. I got this. Leave it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, Steve, you're going to make copies of keys.
Yep.
I'm also.
Do we need to play that out, or can we just have made copies of keys?
I think we can just make copies of keys unless you just want to suffer for fun.
Nope.
I was just thinking, I mean, it very much sounds like you're going to fuck with it.
No, Steve just loves the idea of going in and being a secret agent again.
Yeah.
And leaving the keys somewhere, like they somehow fell off the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Give me a wits plus stealth.
Okay.
Don't say I never did anything for you, Steve.
Oh, I am invisible again.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that again, which means I need
instability.
Instability. Is it
minor?
Remember, it's minor. Okay. Is it minor?
Yep.
Wow.
That's not so bad. Not terrible, as long as you don't do it 4 or 5 or 6 times every session.
I
mean, the game's more interesting if you do.
I also lose one every session, so.
Yeah, it's true. If you have those are killing off your loyalty testing.
Okay.
But yeah. Managed to surreptitiously drop the keys somewhere that it would make it look like he just fell off the ring somewhere outside.
For the span of about 5 minutes in Thoughtland, you guys hear.
Right.
As long as that's happening, I'm going to assume that everything is okay. If the music changes to something more frantic, then we'll worry.
Turns into the music from Psycho. Yikes. Oh no, not again. All right. So you now have a copy of all the keys.
We did it.
Yay, part 1 is complete.
All right, so I'm going to go do some casing surveillance type work over at the target.
Okay.
To see if I can figure out the comings and goings of people and the
Yeah.
I mean, from our vignette, there's some goofy cards in there. I'm seeing if anyone's doing anything goofy.
Okay.
Or stuff like that.
So you have that really cool 3D walkthrough from the real estate site. Super useful, super helpful. Apparently not as up to date as the reality. They have boarded up the windows on the first floor. Not the second, but on the first floor. There is clearly there are guards coming in and going. There's a balcony on the back. Hold on, let me think. The back door, the patio door. There's a deck behind it, which is pretty standard, pretty normal. But there's definitely guards there at all hours. You see some movement in the upper windows where you get the sense that there's people patrolling within this building. the occasional muffled sounds of it could be pain from the garage, the 4-car garage. So who knows what's going on in there? And there's no basement windows. So it appears that what they've done is they've gone and they've taken what might have been like a escape route or of some kind, legally required, and they basically shoveled a bunch of dirt onto it to make it so that you can't get in or out through the basement or see into the basement.
Got it.
So, yeah. It all looks pretty hasty. Also of note is the behind the house, there's a pool and the deck, and there's a little wooded area behind beyond the backyard, and you see what looks like tire tracks going from near the deck to the forest. Like someone has been driving a pickup back and forth between the house and the woods. And there's not a road back there. It's just like woods.
Okay.
Been dumped.
So you say lightly wooded. Like if I were to walk around in there, would I be able to be seen from the house?
If you stayed far enough into it, you'd be okay. You want to
Okay.
give me wits plus stealth?
Yeah.
Oh, other thing is that they've like really greatly increased the number of lights that are shining out from the building and into the lawn. I mean, it's not. I don't know exactly what time you're going in there, but I mean, it's not like it's not magical, but it's clear that they've got some additional surveillance and some additional lights that they wouldn't have had a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And is that the kind of thing that like when somebody approaches the house, it like turns on by itself or something?
It actually is just on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not fucking around.
Got it. Okay. So I have a blending in specialty for stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be applicable here?
Yeah, that's fine.
2.
Okay. So wandering around in the woods, you find that there's been a lot of earth turned up. Like it looks like there's been a lot of digging activity going on recently.
Got it.
Like a lot of digging.
Mm.
And it smells like rotting meat. And there's a lot of flies and other like carrion animals sort of hanging out around here because of the stench.
Like raccoons?
Like raccoons.
What I need to do is
Plausible deniability.
have someone investigate from,
The police.
police.
Sounds like somebody
There's
already.
suspicious stuff, like smells and stuff that were in those woods.
Yeah. Well, I've already got swatting on my list of
Your to-do list?
yeah, well on my list of contingencies here. Anyway. Okay. Well, yeah, so I'm gonna just, spend several hours making sure to steer clear of the places that they're going in and out of the woods or whatever in case they decide to do any of that.
Yeah, they haven't been here while you've been here. Whatever they were doing before, it's clearly that they're done.
Got it.
So the volume of bodies has really tapered off.
Right. All right. Yeah, but basically just sitting in the woods.
Monitoring comings and goings.
Yep, that's it.
When it gets evening, work is over for most people. Dunk arrives in his truck and goes inside the front door. And is now there.
Does anything change when he's there? Like, does any of the activity change?
You notice that the guards that are on the deck are a little less slovenly. Like everyone is a little bit bored. I mean, it's not like they're expecting a massive search party to show up, but they definitely want to keep an eye on things. They're a little bit more on guard, a little bit more careful about doing their job right when he's around.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, then I hang out and I see if he leaves at any point.
He actually stays there until he's there all night. I don't know whether you're planning on sleeping there, staying there in the woods.
Got it. Yeah, I wouldn't be staying all night. I'd go back, but he
probably attracted some cougars around here. It is Colorado.
Sure.
Those that makes more sense.
Huh?
Animal type.
Animal cougars.
Mountain lions.
Yes, the women in the neighborhood. Stop by. Never mind.
Yeah. I think you should
I
definitely
can't help
write
but
down.
smell some meat nearby.
Yeah, Dunk attracts cougars. I think you should definitely make a note of that.
There was a video of that guy who was jogging, and he apparently accidentally antagonized a mountain lion and her cubs, and so she was like chasing him, sort of in an aggressive display for like 3 miles. And someone's response on Twitter is like, "Man, this reminds me of my 20s."
Good Lord.
Woo.
All right. Yeah. So I fuck off then.
Okay. All right.
So guys, listen. Oh, well, I guess I would be fast forwarding to the next time that we meet together about this. It's still the weekend, right?
It's Monday.
Oh, it's Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
We squandered the weekend apparently.
You did.
Well, that's maybe to our advantage in some ways, because I think that we should do this ironically during the day.
Oh, okay.
And here's why. Nighttime doesn't exactly give us a lot more, well, unless we're doing something more overt, like knocking out their power or something like that, which I mean is an option and everything, but
Yeah.
It's not really going to benefit us hugely to do that just because they've got so much surveillance up.
How remote was this place again?
Suburbs?
It's deep enough out that it wouldn't be. They're on large plots. They're not like it's not like there's not cul-de-sacs here. It's kind of a house. It's kind of like big mansion territory. It's kind of a house and several acres around it, and then another house, a little ways away. So it's remote enough that you can't hear the screaming coming from the garage of your neighbor, but it's close enough that you can get to the grocery store in 15 minutes.
Got it.
The point was darkness or nighttime might not change the lighting or surveillance there, but it might decrease the chance of surrounding homes or people catching on to something.
Yeah.
I would say that if you have an out-and-out gunfight, where they can't discounted as fireworks, it probably will provoke a call to the police. But it would, like, one or two pops isn't gonna get much attention. They're not expecting there to be a gunfight in this neighborhood.
I guess what I was gonna say is that I think if we do it while Dunk isn't there, it might be better. However, I guess that doesn't discount the fact that we could lure Dunk away.
True.
To do it at a different time or whatever. That also might give us, I don't know, some alibi.
If we were the ones to lure Dunk away.
Yeah, or some of us were.
I would say I think I'd be the only one who'd be able to really have a good reason to lure him away. But that would also mean that you lose or we lose the most slippery member of the
Yeah, that's a good point. Unless we were to enlist the aid of our friend who can look like you.
True.
We don't want Abby coming to this.
No, to be Tamsin somewhere else.
Oh.
And to lure Dunk away. Which would be even more convincing if one of us was with her.
Like Steve?
I don't know. Somebody that we don't think is necessary at the scene. I mean, maybe that's a terrible idea. Maybe we should just all be there, but
Move on.
yeah, no, I know. I'm thinking like a criminal rather than like a player character.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kind of approaching it more like a logic puzzle. Who
All right.
would be either less useful there or would have the most reason to come up with Abby with, hey, here's this emergency that Dunk needs to solve that would be least detrimental by not being there.
Right.
So we need Benji there because Benji can bam.
Yeah.
I can cat and glorp. Steve can go invisible
Or a lot of other things.
and other things.
Or become really small and ride a cat.
Exactly.
Or a raccoon.
Or one leg on each.
Just remember that if I bamf you in order to get you out the same way, I have to go in, bamf each of you out individually, and then, well, I'm not even sure if I would have to do that if you were tiny.
If he was tiny, could you take two people at once? Or could he like hitch a ride in your pocket?
Yeah, I was gonna say I could go in someone's
I
shirt
think
pocket
I'd be
or
okay
something.
if it was a cat and someone's shirt pocket.
Yeah. If you were
Okay.
if you're wearing a hoodie, then the cat can be in your hoodie pocket and Steve can just be in a different pocket.
I mean, I think I could make it work. It might be a good idea to test it.
Okay.
We could try at my apartment.
So things never go wrong there.
Well,
No, never.
No.
yeah, so we do a dry run to see if I can pull it off.
All right.
If we're gonna do a dry run, then I need to mark off another point of instability.
Right. Yeah.
Because I need to mark down a point of instability every time I switch one of those.
Yep. And I'm gonna have to take damage later too.
Yeah, but it's okay. Again, I haven't had instability in a while, and I lose it pretty quick, so it'll be fine.
All
You
right.
still have less than me.
Although it's now going to start messing with your. I don't think you have a whole lot of stuff that's scar resistance. Right? I guess you have your.
Well, it's all minor at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just a penalty to scar resistance rules.
Oh yeah, I don't have a whole lot of those normally. Though I guess that might mess with the powers that I'm picking up though.
So
The scars.
All right. Just rolling chance dice the norm.
Oh, that's right, it's scars.
So do we establish that this is possible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's possible. But you really have to be close. Like the cat has to be in your pocket, and so does little Steve.
Well, and yeah, just to be clear, I'm also like the reason I'm going to have to take damage later is because I have to expand my power so that I can go through a solid object to do it blind. All right.
Okay.
Oh, so maybe.
Hey Steve, Eric, do I have to be size 1 for this, or do I have to be size 0 for this?
I think size 1 is a cat, isn't it?
No, size 2 is a cat.
Size 2 is a cat. Size 1 is probably fine.
Okay.
Like a
You don't have
rat.
to be cockroach size.
Yeah.
Rat size is probably adequate.
Okay. That means I can not lose my big one.
Yeah. Because that can keep you alive.
Yeah.
At least prevent you from dying for too long.
Which
it makes
might
you
be
an
very
uncrushable cockroach.
might be very useful if I were if I'm little and steppable on.
I mean,
Step onable.
the ideal scenario is that I can send you guys in and you can get out on your own, but it's good to have a backup plan just in case.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I suppose you could just pretend to be a mouse and I could chase you. Because if you say cat,
I mean,
something
I
like that,
could.
isn't going to be, look at that cat chasing that tiny human. Your first thought.
No, tiny human wouldn't be your first thought, but if you got a good look at me, you would be like, holy shit, that is not a mouse.
It's not that weird.
That's not that weird.
Or you shrink, put on a costume.
Yeah, put on like some Mickey Mouse ears and
Yeah, that'll trick him.
And a bit of string as a tail. And
Yeah.
maybe some red suspender pants.
Oh God.
With a sign on the front that says "Totally a mouse."
or we could trade the costume closet of a ballet company and steal their Nutcracker costumes. You could be the Mouse King, Rat King. Anyway.
This is starting to go in a cat's direction, and let's
It's
not
reminding me that after this we need to go to Disney World.
In honor of Steve.
I think it's go time.
All right.
I think so.
What am I doing?
So what you're doing is can you melt metal?
No.
You can knock out the power in their place, though, right?
Probably, seeing how I'm like nuclear power physicist.
But
I can probably figure out how to turn off power.
would that be a dunk problem?
What do you mean, would it be a dunk problem?
Well, we need you to create a problem that you would go to Abby as me, and then Abby as me would then.
Oh, we're still doing that. Okay.
Yeah, if we want to go at night, I'd prefer to do it while Dunk wasn't there.
So if we're going at night and I want to turn the power off, Dunk would be there at night because he got there like at evening time.
Yep.
Oh, you'd be turning off the power there.
Yes.
Okay,
That
then.
was my interpretation.
But we need to leave one person behind to.
we don't necessarily need to do that. It was just an idea.
Yeah, to be clear,
I mean, I am a hunter. Like, I can track and stalk and shoot. So
I mean, having you in the woods in the back, like,
right, I can cover you with guns and light rays if needed.
Yeah, I think that's probably important. So again, my plan A is that we don't have to do any of that. Like, shutting down their power is like the last thing we want to do. We want to be a light touch. We want to get the keys in to this place to help these people escape without directly intervening ourselves, like, other than doing that part.
Oh, I just thought Dunk hasn't given me the key ring of new keys yet, has he?
Correct. He said it by the end of this week.
So what happens is you don't even have to be there you could just call like the number that Abby would be covering as me and just say, hey, I locked myself out I just realized that when I left home, I locked my apartment and left like the keys and stuff in there. Could you unlock it? She'll be like, oh wait, I can't, I don't have the keys. She'll call Dunk to do it. And that would pull him out of the house.
I can try. I'm not very deceptive.
Or, I mean, I guess somebody else who is deceptive could do the same thing.
Right.
Abby could do that easily enough if you want to get her involved.
Do we want to get Abby involved?
Huh?
I don't care about Abby either way. So if you guys care about her, want her involved or not, it's up to you.
Why don't we just do it during the day?
Because of darkness. And the aid it gives in the surrounding environs.
True, but I just realized that it was mentioned that the guards are more lackadaisical during the day when Dunk isn't there.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so it's probably going to be easier.
Probably a combination of wanting to impress their boss and knowing that the boss is around, so.
Yeah.
I can still cut their power. I mean, time of day doesn't matter so much on that.
Once again, that is the last thing that we want to do if we want to actually try to do this without making it seem like somebody went and helped them.
Right. Here's a thought. It's summertime in Colorado. Has anyone checked what the weather's like in the next few days? Weather forecast. Maybe there's a storm planned. Like, not planned, but a storm predicted already.
Is there a storm predicted?
It could be. I could make it that way if you wanted to. If you want a storm for some cover.
That's helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rain on the rooftop will make some noise to cover up what we're doing in there too. So.
Okay. So yeah, there's a thunderstorm predicted for, let's say, Thursday night. A little longer than you'd like to wait, but
Thursday during the day.
huh?
Thursday during the day.
Daytime thunderstorm.
Because a thunderstorm at night does not help us.
Well, late afternoon, say.
Okay.
And maybe it's cloudy during the whole day, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's the plan. Let's do it during the day on Thursday. We've got some. It's not super bright out. We've got some sound cover. We've got some visual cover. We'll bring a vehicle, like, and is there somewhere where we can put it, like, on the other side of the woods, like on a street or something like that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I've got a spot.
Okay.
So the goal will be to escape into the woods once we're done. Hopefully not in haste. But it'll give those of us who are not inside, at least at the time or whatever, a place to hide and wait or whatever.
I know it's just in case scenario, but I will want to try and find, because I don't have this already, like some sort of silencer or suppressor for the rifle in the meantime.
Suppressor.
Oh, I can help with that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I have specific contacts for this.
Okay. And and Jake or Steve has resources.
True.
All right, so you have a suppressor for your rifle.
Shall we do it?
Let's do it.
Do you need us to, or have we already done our weekly roll?
Let's go ahead and do our weekly roll.
Is it already set in stone what we're up to this week, or can we name our task?
Well, your tasks this week, potential tasks, are build a weapon, create more outlets, figure out how to detect Jared, hijack building surveillance. Which one do you want to focus on for this?
Jared,
okay. So.
Oh, what was it? We're trying to find a way to detect him?
Yeah.
Intelligence plus science for you, intelligence plus occult for Benji.
I'm guessing my specialty will no longer apply.
Not for this one, no.
1. Good old.
Right. It does occur to me that I was just thinking about how your specialty could apply, and it occurred to me that
Jared's a power source?
What's that?
Jared is a power source?
No. No, it occurred to me that we could tag him with a radioisotope.
I don't know if that's enough to make my specialty apply.
Oh, no, I don't either. I just thought that it might be a solution to our problem.
Make him appear and shine him a bit?
No, to have like a Geiger counter or something like that, be able to pick him up because he's giving off a faint radioactive presence or something.
Yeah,
Will that last?
Emit it for some reason in the first place.
What's that?
You would have to emit that for some reason in the first place.
He would omit it because he was in the blast, though. Didn't everyone get irradiated in the blast?
That's true.
Mm.
You're right. He might already be emitting that.
Detected by a Geiger counter in the building.
The whole building.
That's true too.
That's a very good point. All right, let me roll here. 3.
Yeah.
But
So
the building got rolled back to the 70s, though. So I don't know if that doesn't clean that up.
Oh, maybe it does.
Radiation.
Or maybe it just lines everything with lead, so it's harder to fix.
Just lines everything with lead. Still irradiated, everything's still on fire, but it's lead, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Asbestos and lead.
Yeah, the lead paint wasn't there because it was the only thing that they painted at the time. The lead paint was there because it actually helped block some of the radiation.
Makes sense.
Clearly.
Well, that's one of the things that we use to try to detect him. But like I'm setting up all kinds of different detection methods, like around, especially around like his apartment and whatnot, like and around Tamsin's apartment, and see if we start tripping anything.
Okay.
But yeah, one of them is Geiger counter. Maybe he's putting off all kinds of radiation. I don't know.
Okay. You're making progress towards detecting Jared when Jared doesn't want to be detected. All right. So late afternoon, gonna break into this house.
Here we go.
All right. Those of you sneaking close to the house, give me a wits plus stealth.
Do I get any bonuses for being a cat?
You are going to get the rope quality on that.
Quality.
Yeah, I honestly just don't even worry about it. You're a cat. But the rest of you who are actually like full-sized, no. But you get a +2 bonus because of the storm.
If I'm just staying in the woods and like scoping it out with a gun.
Hey, how about this? There's the transformer that goes to this part of the neighborhood is on this side of the woods.
Oh,
Not too far from the car.
Handy.
It is handy.
Yeah, and there's that thunderstorm going on.
Sure is. We wouldn't want that to get like hit by lightning or anything.
Nope.
Whoopsie doodles. Do we want to do something about that before we start rolling stealth?
What do you think, Narco?
I have 7 on my stealth check.
I missed what you said. You want to do something about that what, Marco? But before
Transformer.
Oh, I thought we didn't want to do that unless it was needed.
Well, the thunderstorm gives you a what's the word? An excuse, an explanation.
Alibi.
Yeah, the reason you didn't want to do it before was because if the lights just randomly go out, it's like clearly an attack. If it's like a sunny day, but in a thunderstorm, it's not implausible.
Make it look like lightning hit it. Sure. The problem is I'm not sure if my powers that are all lightningy, well, not. Yeah, I guess sort of lightningy. Are gonna be subtle enough? I don't know if that's the right word. It's something I don't have great control on, so we'll see.
Well, stand in the woods and try not to light anything on fire.
Or, I mean, it might be more. It might be better if I were trying to do it just like with skill and then just kind of shoot up the transformer and make it, singed a little bit rather than actually trying to use my Stormcaller ability, because the power version of trying it is going to be more unpredictable.
Okay.
I would go with just trying to actually sabotage it using my own knowledge.
Okay.
And then I'll just light beam it and singe it up a bit to make it look like lightning strike.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a wits plus crafts, I think. Maybe science.
Crafts.
Do you lack crafts? Do you need something else?
I don't know.
Science? Persuasion. Please explode.
Yeah, I don't know.
manipulation plus science.
You don't
Yes.
For some
Um,
reason, crafts just make me think that like you're making a broken power generator out of like fusilli pasta or something like that.
know.
What about academics?
Somebody has children.
Yeah. Academics?
Yeah.
I mean, I could do it.
Survival?
Yeah, because I'm just saying my wits plus crafts roll would be better than his, and I have no idea what I'd be doing.
Well, if he's allowing my specialty, I guess I'd have 4 dice. But
Yeah. No, go for it. 4 dice? Okay.
He has no crafts.
well, I rolled 3 9s.
All right. So I'm gonna say something a little weird on this. The fact that the unpredictability prevented you from actually wanting to use your power at all is in its way a disadvantage due to the scar. So I'm going to give you the beat for that.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So,
The fact that
because you're like, I have to do this the hard way because my power can't be trusted. Yeah. Okay.
but because I am addicted to it, I have to do this. I'm gonna add 3 dice to this roll
Okay. And your
because I can
willpower
do
for
it
it.
after a roll.
All right.
I add 0 more successes, but spend a willpower on it.
Okay.
Oh, and satisfy my addiction.
Yep. Just like I expected. Couldn't have done it better. Okay. So the power cuts out. Everyone who's rolling stealth, go ahead and add 3 dice to that. Not the 7 successes is not enough. Yeah.
I mean,
And I'll just
I can roll more.
to shut off my
Yeah,
light
one more.
from that part, which I
Okay.
Yeah, that brought me up to 7.
Okay. All right. So the power at the house goes out. There are a couple like things that are clearly on some sort of battery backup, but it's not like it is not like they wired this thing up for uninterrupted power supply for the entire building. It's a lot more ad hoc than that. It always was. I mean, they've only been doing this for a week. This was very much a holy shit. We've got to find somewhere to put all these people. So it's dark in the building, with, like I said, exception of a couple lights here and there.
I will say, on rolling my scar resistance roll to shut off my lights, I did it with the first roll, so it would be only a very brief bright light.
Okay,
So hopefully
that
that's
works.
a lightning story.
Yep. So that's the good news. The bad news is, what's the first thing you do when the power goes out?
Scream.
No,
Go to the circuit breaker.
no. During a thunderstorm, I mean. The
Oh,
power company have someone come check it out. So it's not like they're going to be here any minute, but there is a timer for eventually the power company is going to come and check out the transformer to try to restore power, and your car is parked right next to it. Not right next to it, but within easy sight of it. All right, so you are sneaked up to the house. You're approaching from the rear? There is just the one.
Assumption.
Yeah.
That
Whichever
would be
gave
from the
us-
woods, right?
From the woods is the rear. There's one person on the. I think it's just one. Let me double check. Yeah, there's one person on the deck who's now kind of taken shelter just inside the patio door, and is sort of shining a light out a little bit, but his heart isn't in it. I guess it's not dark. He's just sort of squinting out through the rain.
All right. Well, we're probably like running up to the side of the house,
Okay.
and so that I can bamf somebody in like downward diagonal, basically.
All right. Make that roll.
So just to be clear, well, so before I send you guys in, should I just come with you?
Well, if you come with us, you can do it in one.
That's a good point.
I guess the other thing is, though, you'll be in there and very visible. So
Yeah, so let's not do that.
too bad I don't have like a kitty backpack.
I know we considered making a backpack for a cat at one point when we were considering making a backpack for a cat the other way.
You did, but yeah.
So question, if I very carefully held Steve in my mouth, could you do it in one?
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
I would be okay with that. If he's tiny. He
Are
can
you
ride you.
Steve?
Oh,
If he
I'm
can ride your
totally
back
fine
or-
with this.
You are a cat possession right now. I'm really disappointed in us that we didn't dress you as a mouse. Like get a mouse costume for you. That would have been amazing. Yeah. Anyway,
Weirdest fursuit ever.
My brain like you'd have the never mind.
I mean, all you need to do is get one of those cat toys and like just make a
Yeah.
little pocket so that a very tiny person could squeeze up inside.
And then you'd be catnip
Little
scented
eye holes.
afterwards.
What?
You'd be catnip scented afterwards.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
scented.
great
I'm
idea.
not sure how that would scale.
Because you were getting high before this before this heist.
You
Is
gotta
that why?
somehow.
Yeah, I think at that point the catnip does start affecting the person who in the cat form. But
Yep.
Anyway,
right, so teleporting
In we go.
someone into the jails.
all right. So I am on physical for this. So it's dexterity plus I have had to pump it up to a 3 in order to, and I had to take damage to do that.
Mhm.
And we have. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm finished. What do you need?
I was just going to point out that you have to hold the keys for a minute while I get tiny so that the keys don't get tiny too.
Ooh, we need you to get Houston with us.
Good plan.
I mean, they're already tiny keys, but
Way to think, Steve.
Good job, Steve. Very strong work. All right, and then I have to. Shit, I forgot whether I take a penalty because I'm doing this blind.
-4. So you were probably
Okay.
gonna want to spend some willpower.
Yep. Okay, so willpower added. Yeah, let's do this. Three.
Okay. Okay, so you teleport them in. So it's a couple different hallways, sort of a cross shape, and one end of the hallway of the cross is it's kind of been converted into a guard room. It's like the little area that leads up to the stairs that go to the kitchen and so on. But you're at the exact crossroads between the two, like two adjoining hallways, or not adjoining, but perpendicular hallways, smack dab in the middle. There are doors, total of 24 doors. So 6 down each hallway.
Now the doors, like, is it something that like somebody could go through?
It is a it's locked from the hallway side. It's just like a bolt that can be thrown pretty easily. It's not like you have to have keys to unlock it on your side. I think there's probably a couple exceptions where clearly the people who are in those cells could get out if it was locked from the inside, and so they had to take some additional, like, padlocks or steel plates welded onto the frame of the door to keep them from escaping. But for the most part, it's as easy as being a full-sized human and throwing the bolt, or slipping something in the very small crack underneath the door.
Got it. Okay. Because that was something, for whatever reason, I was picturing bars, and that's clearly not the case.
Yeah, they're like steel doors. They have the like food slot, that sort of arrangement, rather than a like jail cell with bars.
Got it. Is the food slot like the kind of thing that the cat could nose it open? And pass a key in?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's fine.
Well, can Steve fit through the food slot?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Should I spit you through a food slot?
I mean, I can just climb too. You don't need to spit.
That's less fun.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a cat spit either. Yeah, well, there's that.
That's not the only spitting that I've seen a cat do. I've seen plenty of that.
Please don't vomit me in there. That's not a memory I want to live after.
Being a hairball.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going in there and stealthily making my way over to the person and trying to figure out how to undo their handcuffs.
Well, let's see.
Are they awake?
Yeah, it's daytime.
Oh, of course.
I mean, there's no windows, so how would they know?
Yeah, I suppose.
Food slots. Food probably is a bit of a time determiner, unless they're like deliberately trying to fuck around with their sense of time by feeding them at different hours of the day. See something. Doing something silly. Totally never do that.
We're waiting for him to describe things, and he's been doing a lot of things.
Annoying.
So I don't know what we're going to find in there.
Something weird's about to happen. And
in the neighborhood. I'm gonna call.
It's a beautiful day.
And it'll be fine. I'm just a very tiny person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
With a very appropriately sized key.
Yeah.
Riding on a cat.
No, he climbed through a food slot because he didn't want me to spit him through.
Climbed through a food slot. Yeah,
Yes.
he's
Yep.
in his cell.
Yes.
Yes. One of the cells.
Yes. With the keys. Well,
Maybe there's someone in it.
we probably would have peeked through the slot first, I'm assuming.
Who are you? So, young man. He spots you immediately despite your diminutive size.
Okay. I'm here to help.
He gets the keys from you, and kind of does the whole put it in his mouth and open it that way. Has to try a couple times before he finds the right key.
I mean, I'm here to help. I can turn.
He's rat size, not cockroach size.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so you get him out of the handcuffs.
He probably. The
Can you deal with the door? It's dark in here, by the way, because it is. There's no power, and there's no windows.
Those are-
Did you bring a tiny flashlight?
Maybe I'll be back. Wait here, okay?
Yeah.
Or don't. If you don't wait here, that's totally fine.
So are you taking the keys with you, or are you leaving him with the keys?
I am intending on taking the keys with me.
Okay, take the keys with you. All right,
There's
you're back
more
at the
doors.
door, back in the hallway. So are you just going to get as many people out as possible in the dark, without being spotted,
I'm
or without
going,
before like the guards figure out what's going on?
yeah. So I'm gonna ask through telepathy. I'm gonna ask how many of these we want to do, and if we have a way of opening the door. Because I wasn't thinking there were as many as you said. 26.
There's 24 rooms.
24.
Yeah, total of 25 people in prisons.
Okay.
Well, ask him if he knows what he can do.
Oh, good question.
Because we just keep taking handcuffs off people, and chances are eventually there's somebody who can start things.
Is there any trash there?
Thank you.
Check
Noel.
the cans.
Hey, the guards in the guard room clearly haven't emptied out the trash in a couple days. It's not too bad, but
Oh God, sift through it.
there's
Go
some,
look.
there's the smell of food from the kitchen now, which is just up the stairs in the guard room.
What's that?
It smells like some kind of like snacky foods thing, like somebody's making like rolls with like meat stuffed in them or something. Probably delicious.
You know, I will point out that Cosmo could really help us organize this this whole thing.
Are you saying that they were microwaving Hot Pockets?
Hey! Actually, they aren't. It's the little DiGiorno's pizza rolls, but yeah, close enough.
I would advise against microwaving Hot Pockets. I had bad experience.
Okay, they're about to have a bad experience too.
Oh my
It'll be
gosh.
fine.
They aren't microwaving Hot Pockets because it's dark, remember?
Do you need me to come in there? This is now Benji.
You know how to open doors?
Yeah, with my hand.
I assume they're locked.
Humans do know how to open doors.
So hold on, just to check, are the doors locked, or is it just we lack opposable thumbs of the appropriate size right now?
That the second of those things. They're
Oh.
not like, yeah.
Are they
There's There's just no handles on the inside
they're
or
big,
something?
They're big metal bars that you throw the lock. And then you can open it from there.
So
They're
either
not quite like submarine level of stuff, but it's very much like it's not built to like be, 15 different types of like requiring you don't need a key to open it from the outside. Well, except with the exception of people who could put their hand through the metal and open the very funny jerks. Putting a bolt on that one, but for the most part, yeah, you just need someone to be human sized, throw the lock, and away you go.
Okay.
well,
So yeah, Benji, come on in.
Or Tamsin could, turn regular sized. I mean, you'd be stark naked in the pitch blackness, but
I could turn
Not like anyone
regular
can
size
see.
too.
or I could just ooze.
I will warn that because it's a cross pattern, and on one end of it there's guards. The guards do have flashlights that they're using to just kind of keep an eye on things. But
Okay, so that would
they're
be
not
pretty
like
noticeable.
well. If it depends on where you are. If you are in one of the cross elements and not the main path, you're fine. But if you go into the middle, you're going to want to be smaller.
Okay.
Are there cameras?
Yes, but they're not functional right now because all the power's down.
Right. All right. Well, alternately, I could just grow my tail a little bit, like ooze up a tentacle from my tail and just grab it and pull, right?
oh, go for it then.
Yeah, you have the liquidy. Okay. So you start opening doors.
The first one, anyway.
The first one. Okay.
My cattail.
By cat. Well, because then we gain an ally to help us do the others.
You were inside the cell too?
No, I'm assuming they open from the outside.
Oh, you just because you're small and on the ground.
Yes.
I was
Right.
trying to picture what
Yeah.
you were in.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
if we're trying to maintain they got free by themselves somehow, having like them do the rest kind of maintains that. image.
Okay. So with a little, go ahead and give me a wits plus stealth.
Wits plus stealth to do
Yep.
it with my tail, or
Is it?
No. This is to. I'm gauging how effective all of this is going to be, and this is just a way for me to decide how well this goes.
Go get the pizza rolls.
Should I include the bonus to remain unseen, to remain unnoticed as a small thing?
yes.
I would say actually let's do this as a teamwork action. So one of you be primary, one of you do secondary. Don't add your bonuses for being cats and being tiny.
Okay.
Because it's a wash. Because being tiny
Fair enough.
disadvantages your ability to open things, but it also advantages you in that you're less detectable. So you're trying to start a jailbreak, a prison riot.
Oh, that was nice.
I have to reroll the 10.
Thank you. 2.
Which one of you was primary?
Me.
I don't know.
Okay.
It matters a lot because you end up adding that many dice,
Jake,
the other
add your-
person's successes
Jake, add-
to your dice.
Jake, add two dice to your roll. You already have 3 successes, but let's see if you get anything else from the 2 additional
Okay,
dice.
so I got 4.
A 4. Okay. All right. So you managed to get probably 6 or 8 doors open before the guards figure out that something is up and are coming down to investigate. The prisoners have, they're probably not going to be very happy with the situation, or at least the guards involved in the situation. There's a half a dozen guards. That's pretty large percentage of the total population of this house is coming this way.
All right, Tamsin, time to go.
All right.
All right. I'll
Stab them with tiny daggers in their feet.
How are you?
Time to go.
You mean
How are you making your escape?
escape or time
Yeah.
to go?
No. Time to escape. Time to leave.
Um,
Time to not fight them. Please.
okay. So
Are you leaving the keys with the prisoners so that they can continue to like
Should
unlock
we?
themselves? And
yes.
Okay. Then
That way it makes
yes.
it look like they got a hold of the keys somehow, which happened. We're just
we're just the somehow.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, are you basically going into cat form and fleeing up the stairs and in the dark?
I never left cat form.
I mean, are you basically fleeing up the stairs in the dark? In cat
Or are
form?
you asking me to come get you?
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm asking.
With my cat ears, does it sound like up the stairs in the dark is a viable escape path?
Well, remember how the patio door was open because the guy was squinting out in the darkness?
Mm-hmm.
He's still squinting out in the darkness with the cat with the door open.
Okay,
It's
so
just up the
there-
stairs
just up the stairs.
from where you are. Yeah.
All right, want to try up the stairs, Steve?
Yeah. Maybe if we find a place to like hide in a corner somewhere, when noise starts in here, the guy outside will come in and then we can leave. Huh?
It seems like there's a good distraction going on right now.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let's see. Dex plus athletics. Just you.
Oh, not me.
Not you. Don't. You're riding.
That's what.
This is not how I pictured riding, though.
Tiny cowboy hat.
Is that wits plus animal ken?
I have animal ken in this game. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mike.
but
Strength plus animal care.
You need a
Yes,
mount.
that's fine. Just a quick
That
thing.
would be stamina plus human ken.
I think that's called persuasion.
It could be argued.
I don't suppose
I
my
suppose,
parkour merit would come into play at all.
Only if you're tumbling on jumping off the walls.
I'm a cat. Oh, okay. 2.
Okay, that's enough to get out of there like a cat out of a house that they weren't supposed to be in the first place.
Meow.
There's a bit of swearing, but yes, they don't pursue the cat that ran out of the building. And there are some flashes and some shouting and some you hear, yeah. It's probably not going to be a good place to be
Are the
at.
prisoners going to be on the winning side or the losing side of these sounds?
It doesn't sound like the guards have things under control.
So that's
No kidding.
for our standpoint. Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to figure if we need to intervene a little heavier handedness, but if the prisoners are escaping, that's good.
Okay.
Time to go.
All right. You get out well before the electric company shows up, and well before Dunk gets off work and comes back to the house where the prisoners have laid a trap for him.
Ooh.
And
Kind of wish I could see this in character.
Me too.
there's a scuffle, and despite his impressive abilities, sheer numbers are going to overwhelm him and put him in handcuffs, and then they will interrogate him. So, yeah.
We're probably getting tacos.
We should. Tacos sound great.
Margaritas and tacos.
I'm going to see if Abby wants to join us.
Job well done.
Maybe.
Clearly. Clearly.
We'd have to drive out a ways just
Yeah.
for tacos. We're gonna have an Abby-less taco.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Power is restored. The power company notices a stench. Cops become involved.
Ooh, good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's
There's flies and a really rotten meat smell in these woods. That's
a couple more weeks, it probably would have been okay, but that was a high volume of human remains to get rid of. Just dumped out of the reservoir.
And all of that is can be blamed on a thunderstorm taking out a transformer. It all just snowballed from there.
Yes, yes,
It'll
indeed.
make the bodies reek more. Dang it.
Anyway, all right. I think everyone got their aspiration.
Directly mess
Did-
with
Well, I suppose we don't really know this, but do they get away?
Oh, will they get away? Oh, that's
It's
getting
on the
away is.
over the house.
Are you talking about the prisoners?
jailbreak.
Yeah.
The jailbreak is completely successful. It's a smashing success,
Yeah.
which has unleashed 25 renegades into the mix. But we'll get to that momentarily.
Got it.
God.
So I think conviction touchstones were fucked with in that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. You managed not to get Abby involved, which is its own reward.
Yes.
Except for tacos. She got tacos.
I thought you said it was too far out for that.
No.
We can bring her some back. I'll bring her some back. Poor Abby. She missed out on tacos.
That's just not fair.
Leftover murder
I
talk.
don't know.
We could have brought the tacos back.
Exactly.
Yeah, plus we
Um,
wouldn't be able to talk about how awesome our jailbreak was in front of her.
No.
We had
That's true,
tacos
too.
before, so we brought you some.
Yeah. So that was an episode that was full of murder.
No.
Not from us.
We didn't do the murder.
No.
Murder is
It was
still-
stochastic murder.
We are not responsible for
It's-
the moral decisions of the prisoners.
Exactly. We just
None of us can.
opened all the doors.
We just
slaughter.
lit the fuse, and threw the grenade.
The title of
It's
this
the grenade's fault
episode,
that it
by the
exploded.
way, the
Should
title
be
of this
regime
episode when I was
change.
writing it initially.
Was it plausible deniability?
No.
Or regime change.
It's open all the cages in the zoo.
Open all the cages in the zoo. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you have listened to the Hamilton mixtape. You've
No.
invented a new kind of stupid, a open all the cages in the zoo kind of stupid.
No.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie.
Okay,
I don't have the thing, so
that's all right. It isn't strictly speaking necessary to understand this, but
no.
so we could vignette Dunk and the prisoners. There are a couple scientists. There are a couple cooks who basically just made sure that everyone got fed. Several guards of varying levels of quality.
I'll be a guard.
I'll be Dunk.
I'll be the prisoner who has, I don't know, taken the leadership role in the escape.
I'll be some prisoner, I guess.
I can be a less effective guard.
Okay.
That's I'm already doing that, Rachel.
Oh, fine. Then
Effective guard?
I can be the guard who's staring out the door.
Who was staring out the door in the back?
Yeah.
Or getting caught
Yes.
in the chase
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, so when everyone escapes, does the guard standing guard on the back door stick around?
I feel like this guard would probably actually be like, whoa, guys, a cat just ran. Did somebody lose a cat? Walk. You know what? Can I start it off? Because I know exactly what that guard would do.
Sure.
Okay.
Powers out, you have a flashlight.
Powers
You're
out the
watching-
flashlight.
You're looking at the
Cat.
porch for,
Dunk has just driven up.
urban.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? The thing is that Dunk has to arrive faster than that. Like, this had to happen significantly after that initial situation.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Dunk's already been captured. I'm not playing out his capture.
Fine.
We're like a couple hours after the scuffle.
Yeah, a couple hours after the main scuffle. So now it is dark.
Power is restored or no?
Power is restored.
So have we got him trussed up in the garage then? Is that what's going on?
The garage is a makeshift laboratory slash medical. What is it called? Like a field hospital. Because there were a couple of the prisoners who were are still like suffering injuries from the divergence and need medical attention. They occasionally need to like cut someone open or like otherwise, check some results or administer some tests.
We have fancy high-tech handcuffs. We have the keys to those handcuffs, and we have a jail. So I don't think he's in the garage.
Got it. So we were interrogating him. Is that the scenario?
Correct.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a picture of like where we are and whatnot. So we're like down in one of the cells then?
Yeah.
Well, I'll finish up handcuffing him for you. That should do it. All trussed up and beaten up.
I just want to remind you that it wasn't like the condo had every resident in it when that event happened. Many of you have friends and family who lived with you. They are safely in our custody elsewhere.
Shut up.
Here.
Shut up. We're in control here now.
Oh, you really, really aren't.
Sounds like you know where they are, though.
Yeah.
Oh, they keep that information away from me.
I doubt it. Your operation's pretty haphazard.
Start the knife if that information is held away from you.
Well, I am just one of you made to do this sort of work.
Bullshit. You've been doing this forever.
Have I now?
Well, then how come you were such a jerk boss?
Yeah, I moved in like 7 years ago, and you were the one who did it.
Yes, but I've been enslaved that whole time. The ones you really want to go after are the ones who caused the experiment that caused the trouble that you are experiencing now.
Yeah, and that's
Tell us more about that.
Well,
who did it?
There is someone covering as being a maintenance man in the building named Benji.
I remember that guy. He's got that fucking fancy car.
Yeah, they didn't know. He's not a good guy. But yeah, it's not all him, but he was a major component of the event that caused this. And you know what? He and his ilk are planning on doing it again on a larger scale next time. Because 25 was not enough.
Shit, they're gonna do it again?
Yes, in 13 or I guess 11 weeks time now.
Well,
about 3 months.
I mean, that doesn't sound good, but they're also, you're the one who locked us up in a basement. So you don't
Again,
get out because
it's my job.
of an accident.
If I don't lock you up in a basement, I get locked up in a basement too. Not only do you get locked up in a basement, I get locked up in a basement and it's fed dog shit.
Where you are
Well, shit.
up in the basement.
Well, what? Who are these people anyway?
Oh, they're he works for organized crime. And
This
the
Benji
mob,
guy?
this Benji guy, yeah, he works for organized crime. He's got the my associates completely snowed, convinced that somehow I'm the main person or one of my associates, but it's not. It is really him. He's the one that came up with this plan. He's in the process of doing something with the building to try to make it more under his control so that he can do this even more again. He has an accomplice. He has accomplices, of course.
I point at the other like handcuffed guard. It's like, what about this guy and all the rest of them that are here?
They're just
We don't know what's going on.
I just
Hey, you do. You just heard him say what's going on. That's not any news to you. You weren't surprised. You know all of us got powers.
No, I don't know. I don't know anything.
We'll see about that. I
Just-
stick my tentacles up his nose. Just suck out his memory.
at this moment. Dunk overcomes the suppressing power of the handcuffs, hulks up, kills both guards, and flees the building. Meanwhile, the police sirens are coming toward the house, and everyone can respond to that accordingly. But I think everyone is getting the hell out of Dodge.
Shit, we got to get out of here. But grab as much as you can carry from the lab.
Okay.
Like we're grabbing up all of the like documents
That
and
guy's skull when my tentacles were in his brain, though. That didn't feel good.
well, try and keep your insides on your inside next time, I guess.
Okay. I don't
Shit.
know what's going on.
Let's go out. There's some woods out back here. Look, let's go.
That's where the cops are coming to, by the way.
What's that?
The cops are going toward the woods.
Oh, shit.
No, we go to the garage, gather anything interesting, and then we take whatever vehicle they might have had.
Yeah. Oh, he's got that big truck. Oh no, he took it. Shit.
Or we
No,
just
we wouldn't have time to take it. He had to go some other direction.
Oh, okay.
open the
Yeah.
garage and people
I mean,
run
I'm
away.
sure you guys didn't leave him his keys.
Well, don't worry. I think I can make the truck go anyway. I got a power for that.
Is this the truck that can hold 23 other people?
Yeah, it's a tow truck. Stick them on back.
Tow truck? I think you mean a moving truck, but okay.
Oh yeah, that's the
Some
one.
people are hanging off the end of the truck.
All right.
You
End scene.
insane.
Yeah, you guys rescued all of these people in the dark without revealing your identities to them.
We did.
You basically just let them out.
Yep.
Are we still?
And the events that led to their divergence can be directly laid at your feet, even if they yes, Dunk was lying to them about his role, but he did not lie about your role.
Nope.
Nope.
He lied about half of our role.
Half of your role, yes.
Yeah.
So really, it was half of us that freed them and then just left. And it was the other half that just caused.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that all yesterday when I was planning this game. I'm like, that was like I know it was like so well intentioned, or this plan is so well intentioned, but it's just like open all the doors in the zoo kind of stupid. Like if you get down to it. But yeah, thank you. You've given me 25 monsters a week.
Well,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Well, we wouldn't want it to get boring.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
our lives are very simple. We needed to complicate them some.
Yeah.
You did, so there are a couple ways you can handle this. We can continue, you've been behaving as renegades in the sense of undermining the conspiracy. But if you guys ever decide, oh yeah, technically we're devoted, go let me know.
Saul is not devoted.
Yeah, because I know it's like right now you're like I said, you've been behaving as renegades because you've infiltrated. You're not actually devoted. But if you have enough control over the organization and you have renegades hunting you, it may be time to consider yourself the other.
I was gonna say I can see a scenario where
Yeah.
Ethan does become devoted.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It's like you kind of blundered into it. It wasn't like anything that I had planned originally, but I was like, more and more they're kind of like a very specific kind of fucked over devoted. Like devoted doesn't necessarily, anyway. But yeah. So I think we'll wrap there for the week. Entertaining, and let's see what else we got going on here. So we all did our we all got aspirations dealt with for this week, so those are done. And
Messed with Dunk,
mess with Dunk.
sort of
So,
indirectly.
did anyone else hit? I know we had an Abby thing here and there. You deliberately
Tacos.
didn't involve her. Yeah, you had tacos, but you deliberately didn't involve her specifically to protect her.
Right.
Which I would say is, it's touching the touchstone. It's not like getting huge amounts of willpower back or anything. But
We also kind of skipped over a couple of days in there too, so interaction would have happened between the two of us in that period of time.
okay.
If
Do you
apparently
get?
lost now.
I'm trying to remember. Do you get anything other than a beat for messing with a touchstone?
You heal a minor instability when you mess with a conviction touchstone.
Right.
Hey, quick question.
And you already counted Scar interference, right?
Yes. Because you had one, the deciding not to use the power that would make it simple because it would not make it simple.
And then
spending willpower for no reason at all.
correct.
Because you have your addiction.
Got it.
Were there other scars that came into play that I overlooked?
No,
Not really.
none of mine.
No.
Yep.
Much as it would have been fun to slide into the prison and be like, wait, why am I here again?
That would be the awesomest scar for translocation, is if you ever teleport, you forget what you were doing.
That would be really funny.
Your body moves, but you left.
I am in a kitchen. So
I actually
I'm
had an
supposed-
idea for a trauma excisionist where you have the tabula rasa, which means you forget what you did when you were under the effects of the power or when you were using the power, and memory thief. So you were stealing people's memories away, but you didn't actually remember any of them. And you also didn't remember what else you were doing during that same scene. So the good news is you don't suffer huge amounts of trauma. The bad news is you still forget stuff that probably is important. But yeah, fun stuff. All right, so that's enough for 4 beats apiece.
Okay.
One XP. All right.
One experience. need to
Oh,
spend.
figure out a new aspiration. What's next?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm putting my chips away at the moment. And then one fifth of the scar magnitude or bot variations for scars. No. Were there experiences that people wanted to spend at this time?
What does it take to increase a scar?
Usually
Instability.
instability. Yeah, so medium instability.
Oh.
Why? Do you have one that you'd like to get raised higher?
When I'm able, I would probably be looking at upping my addiction so I can up my precog stuff.
Okay. So
But
I
I
guess
also
this.
have 4 minor right now.
Okay. Well, if you're up to 4 minor, then you're almost to the medium.
Yeah, you can. If you get enough minor, they'll start bunching
They'll start
up.
rolling. And once you get medium.
I've usually been rolled over into mediums.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when you have medium, you can upgrade the scar value, and then you can downgrade, like basically heal the medium instability to permanently increase the scar.
Like,
And sorry, hold on. I apologize.
1 medium to up a scar by 1?
Yes. When you update scar to medium, it causes one of your scars to go up by 1. And then you can choose to make that permanent so that even when you heal the medium instability, the scar is still with the higher rating. And then that allows you to buy better variation.
Okay.
So you have to suffer in this game to advance your powers. That's the way it goes.
Didn't you say if we up the scar, don't our associated variations sort of like automatically increase?
No, just the
buy 'em.
scar. But the thing is if your scar goes up, let's say you go from 1 to 2, and you say, you know what, I want to keep it at 2, then you can immediately increase your precognition or any other variation tied to that by 1. So you can raise it from 1 to 2 at the same time. So.
But it doesn't cost experience; it costs stability.
Yeah, it costs getting enough instability to make it a problem for yourself.
All right.
So you're walking a line when you do that.
And I am not sure about the experience part of it.
Experience is only when you buy a new one. You don't have to buy a new variation or a new scar. Scars don't cost experience. You just have to either have a medium that you downgrade to, or you heal off, you clear it entirely. You clear a medium instability to permanently get a new scar of whatever magnitude you choose. So you can have a magnitude 1, you can have a magnitude 5, you can have anything in between. And then once you have that scar, if you spend experience at the same time, you can immediately attach a variation to it. Otherwise, it's free for you to add variations to later. Are you following me at all?
So there is some sort of this associated experience cost, sort of.
Only when you're getting a new variation. But in order to get a variation, you can't just buy a variation flat out. You have to have a scar that will support that variation.
So experience will buy a new one, but upgrading one you already have to fill that upgraded scar is free.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as the scar gets worse, the variation can get worse if you choose. Or you can, let's say your scar goes from 1 to 2, you can instead buy a new magnitude 1 variation entangled with that same mag 2 scar.
That would cost experience because it's.
Yeah, that would cost experience because you're buying a new variation. But just raising the variation that is already entangled with that magnitude 1 scar to 2 is fine as long as you can raise the scar by 1.
Okay.
All right. And all right, new aspirations. Benji.
I want to figure out if I can. I'm going to solve Tamsin's problem of knowing when Jared is watching her, and
That's a good problem to solve.
I'd say that's a good one.
I've been using the bathroom with the lights off.
Eventually, that is going to bite you.
Showering with the lights off? It's gonna bite me?
No. The Jared.
Whatever's in your
anywhere he
bathtub that's
wants.
gonna bite you.
It could be Jared.
that you can't see when your lights are off.
That's creepier. Okay, Saul.
Come back to me.
Okay, Steve.
Feel like I've been neglecting Gary.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go spend some time with Gary's his name, right? The trainer at the gym that you used to work at.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Forgot about Gary.
He's not a highly visible figure in this game.
But he's not invisible like some of the other characters. In
Yeah,
this
this is true. Yeah, it's Gary. So,
Hold on.
personal trainer.
Am I missing someone else? Gary, Abby, Doug. Not Doug. Gary, Abby, Dunk.
Zechariah is your other one.
Zechariah. Yeah. Okay.
Are you short one?
No.
Gary, Abby, Dunk.
Gary, Abby,
Zechariah.
Dunk, Zechariah, and the angel. What's his name?
Gene.
Oh,
Gene.
Gene. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there he is. Okay. He's on the list. Oh, no, I haven't had this on yours. So everybody.
Is yours
okay.
Angel Gene or Demon Gene?
Whoever plays the comedian? I don't really know.
That would be Demon Gene.
Okay.
Yeah, Angel Gene is the one
Angels
that he
aren't
was before while he was doing what he was supposed to be doing.
Okay.
And technically that's the gene that is on the other side.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean that may not have been continually all the same evil Angel Gene, but that's how Benji has interpreted it.
Also, I'm not sure Steve would know or care.
Yeah,
It does seem like this thing that would confuse
It's
him.
confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of Benji's particular conspiracy theory stuff having to do with the other side. That's largely irrelevant to you guys.
Tamsin.
Well, since I guess find out who's in charge of keys now that Dunk may or may not be the one.
And then Soul.
So I'm going to follow up with Charlie about the police investigation of the woods and try, further convince him that Gap are baddies.
Good one.
Yes, very nice.
You guys are definitely wrecking this conspiracy shit really hard. I mean, you've murdered one of their touchstones. You've basically incapacitated another wing, and now you're going after another connection. Just
wait till we go after the AI. That's going to be fucking awesome. I have no idea what that's even going to look like.
I do have my empty conviction. Francois was his name, right?
Yeah.
I probably would be wanting to put him in my conviction touchstone slot or working.
okay.
Francois.
Since I have connections to him and he's a Gunga Gap baddie guy, and therefore I must destroy him utterly.
Do you know he's an AI?
I am not sure, actually.
I don't think it's a secret within the conspiracy,
Okay.
especially not if you work in that department.
What you doing, kitty cat?
He probably acts like an AI.
Well, he does. We've heard him in meetings, and we've even heard him in meetings in at least one meeting in character,
Yeah.
where it was very clear that he had priorities that were super fucked up. But I don't know if there was anything that specifically called out to Benji that he wasn't human, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't physically there.
All right. So right now he's wavering, though. So you'll need to that thing. Affirm. You need to affirm the touchstone.
Do things to make him suffer. Got it.
Well, yeah, basically. At least do things to think about how to make him suffer. Can you kill an AI?
Can you make an AI suffer?
All day.
Sounds like our boy is box. I think it's called the Basilisk. My gosh, I can't believe I've forgotten Basilisk. The name of the first part of Basilisk. Anyway, it's fine. All right. I guess that's our session. Unless anyone else has anything else we want to bring up before we wrap up?
No.
Good. All right. So my name is Eric Zawadzki. I'm the developer for the Deviant, the Renegades game line. This is my tabletop group at Playing in Quarantine. Go ahead and introduce yourselves one more time.
Jake playing Steve.
Noel playing Benji.
Rachel playing Tamsin.
And Mark, I'm playing Solomon.
Thank you very much for watching. Bye.